Hi, everybody, it's Peg, and this is the fast version from our Art Joy of Sharing live show that we record each Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Today we were talking about the things that we've been seeing coming out of Creativation and how we can utilize the things that we already have to create things that are similar to what they're coming out with as new products and share those ideas with you so that you can spend your money wisely and create beautiful things with the things that you already have in your stash and not accumulate a bunch of things that are going to be sitting on the shelf and not getting used. So learn from our mistakes and come along for the ride as we talk about the things that we've been seeing from the creative industry. So, for those of you who don't know, AFCI, the Association for Creative Industry, puts on a big trade show each year. This year it was in Phoenix, and there's a lot of buzz coming out of that show about what we are going to see on the store shelves this year. Many of the distributors and companies that produce products for the creative industry come to the show and show their wares for the upcoming year. And they have different release times throughout the year for different products. So, you may see some of the things shown about Creativation products that may not hit the shelves until April. So, you can get all excited and hyped up about something that you may not see for quite some time. Anyway, what Shell and I, wanted to talk about today were some of those things that we had seen at Creativation and how we are not necessarily impressed with all of the new stuff because a lot of it is really old stuff that's being rehashed, and how we can use the things that we have that are consumables and not run out and buy what they're marketing to us, but rethink the products that we have and how to create with what we own already. So we recommend that you buy consumables that you run out of, not necessarily run out and buy new, and use the tools that you already have to create with. Um, Many of the suggestions that we make here are just using the tools that we already have. So think about creating with some of your own tools. So some of the things that we were seeing were things like metallic papers. Well, I just this week had gone through my paper stash and I had found a lot of brushed metallic papers, which, they're coming out in new packaging and it looks like something brand new, and it's not. It's been out for a long time. But what I'm showing you now is how to create using some of these products that I found in my own stash. Um, I have foil, and one of the hot things at Creativation this year seems to be bling, whether it be foil or glitter or pearlized powders, pearlized alcohol ink, pearlized rub and buff, pearlize, whatever it is that you're applying to your surface seems to be something that's got bling to it. The other thing that I saw was that I got kind of excited about was Dina Wakley had what was she calling that? She was calling it a collage book or something. Um, and I thought to myself, well, I can create my own collage book. I've got papers and I've got things that I printed off and digital downloads. And so I just took one of my friend's custom keepers. That would be Shannon Green, makes these custom keepers out of recycled product, billboard product, and yeah, made my own collage collection. And then I thought about foiling, and we were talking about different ways of applying foiling to our products or our finished projects, and the different surfaces that we're working on. So, here's some different cardstock that, you can create with and buy from the paper manufacturers a lot cheaper than you can from some of these companies. So, I'm looking at what they're coming out with that is supposedly new, and to me, it's repackaging of things that we've seen in the past, and um, not necessarily anything that I need because to me, it's not new. So I'm also showing how to utilize some of the products that we already have on the shelf to add that bling. The bling is the thing this time around. So I'm taking some of those brushed metallic papers and I'm applying alcohol ink and I'm moving it around and creating those metal looking papers. And then I'm also going to use some paper that I've applied foil tape to create a similar look. And you can also take aluminum foil and just use some double stick tape and tape that down to a piece of cardstock and emboss that. So, I mean, there's lots of ways of doing these things. You don't necessarily have to run out and buy some new cardstock. So, use what you have and consume the things that you already own. One of the other hot things besides the cardstock that we saw was the foiling. And so I show several different ways of doing foiling, whether you use a toner-based marker or print off of a toner-based printer and run it through a laminator. You can create your own text information just by using Google Documents and changing the fonts and running it through the printer and then putting your foil over that and running it through a laminating machine. And you can get a cheap laminating machine for about $12. So you don't have to go out and spend big bucks for the stuff that they're selling in these shows or in these stores. Um, the pearlized stuff, you can still use the old methods of using those inks that are sticky inks, pigment inks, and using your pearl powders and adhering those to those embossed surfaces to give it another look. There are a lot of those pastes that have coloration in them, but what I would recommend is that you get clear products that have the glimmer and stuff in it because you can always put another color underneath and create what you want. Here I'm showing you a card where I had used some alcohol inks on some vellum paper. This is sticky back vellum paper. Use some alcohol inks. Use some of that glitter paste that is transparent so that you can still see the colors through it. And I can create all kinds of different effects without having to go out and buy 16 different colors of something. So you can see that I am using up products that are in bottles. It's just, you want to use this stuff before it all dries out. So, continue to pull things off the shelf, experiment, try things out, see what you like, because it's just going to dry up in the bottle. I'm telling you, you just need to use what you have. I'm showing you a couple of Liquitex markers that I was going to use this week. And yeah, the nibs had gotten dry. So I had to pull the nibs out of the markers and soak them in some cleaning solution so that I could get those back into a workable paint pen because the paint's still good in there. I don't want to lose the tools that I have on the shelf. So, my motto is use it up before it dries up. So now I've got this glitter paper. It's not actually glitter, it's a printed paper that looks like glitter. And I noticed that Ranger had come out with a new, quote unquote, new product, which was a paper that looks similar to this. And I thought, well, I've got something like that downstairs. Let me go try it. And sure enough, it does the same thing. So probably from the same company. This is paper that I'd gotten some time ago from Paper Cut, which is a paper manufacturer. Um, they're out of Wisconsin, but there's a number of different paper companies, and if you go to the source, you're always gonna get it cheaper and maybe in larger sheets than if you go to these uh, people companies like this that don't produce paper and are selling it in packages that they have repackaged and marked up and put on the shelf. So, I'm just recommending if you're going to have to go out and buy this stuff or you really want this stuff, go to the source. Get it from the people who actually are putting it out there, not the secondary market. So I'm just showing how you can write on this stuff with different markers. It'll take ink just like any other paper. You can punch it, make your little embellishments out of it, and yeah, easy peasy, right? So I had created a whole list of things that I am sharing with the people that are part of our Art Joy is Sharing group, which is a Facebook group. It's just a PDF downloadable file so that if you want to try some of these same techniques and need a reminder about how to go about doing things, you can go over there and get it. But now I'm showing a piece of acetate. Um, One of the things that I had seen were acetate wings, and they were packaging them. And I thought, well, I've got this download of wings from Gina. Let me just, quickly sketch out a wing shape, cut it out of this transparency. And, you could do this with just about any kind of image. You could cut it out of the transparency. And, you can even stamp on transparencies. You just want to use something like stays on ink that is made for those non-porous surfaces. And yeah, I can layer these things up. Now, these wings were actually printed in monotone, and Gina has a image over on her Etsy store which has color to it, but you can print it in black and white, you can print it in color, whatever you want to do. So I'm just showing you how you can take these things and create your very own transparent wings rather than going out and buying a whole pack and not necessarily using the whole thing. And then here's the wings that I had printed and foiled, and yeah, those are kind of cool to layer up too. So that's just another little hack out of our list of hacks. But metallic paper, you can use foil, you can use tape, you can use old paper packs. Collage paper, you can stamp your own or use napkins or tissue paper. You can pre-stamp tissue paper and add it to your collage book that you're making for yourself. Metal embellishments, well, you can mold your own with clay. Collect things from a yard sale and, use like old picture frames and watch faces, things like that. Um, but look at your cardstock and figure out, what kind of cardstock you have, whether it is porous or non-porous, because, that's what's going to make a difference in what you're doing. Here I am showing how to take tissue paper and use those alcohol inks and glues and things underneath and put your transparency on top of that. And then, you can still draw on top of that piece that I've cut out. I just kind of cut out a flower shape, and I thought, well, that becomes another embellishment for pages or cards or whatever it is you're making. Um, Here I'm showing how I can take a double stick tape, just adhere the double stick tape to a piece of cardstock and attach foil to those different things, whether you're using a tape runner or the Suklang tape or, the big rolls of double stick tape. But yeah, anything that has a dual stick, like a duo glue that, dries sticky, will adhere those things. So if you have any of those things in your stash and you have foil, well, you're in business. You can create with those. So remember, I was telling you all about creating your own embellishments. Well, that was one of those clay pieces that I had created in the show from last week and used my metallic paints and things on to make it look like a metal piece. So yes, you can create your own bling bling. And remember, the things that I was talking about coming out of Creativation were all about the bling, all about that stuff that catches your sparkle and, attracts the eye. So, mix your gloss gel medium in with all of that glitter that you've collected all these years and hate to use because it makes a mess. And, just capture it in that medium so that you can spread it right through your stencils and create a beautiful effect. Or, you can add all kinds of products to these mediums. Just mix up, be a chemist, mix up your own mixes and create your own things because, yeah, they're going to have every color on under the sun out there on the market of all of these blingy, glittery products. And my recommendation is get a transparent one if you're going to buy one because you can always put color underneath and it's transparent so you can see the color that's underneath and you don't have to buy 16 different colors. So I've just got a hodgepodge of things on my desk there that I'm showing you the stuff that I've been working with here. Um, but the glitter gel, all of that stuff that they're selling, the foil. Um, yeah, if you're doing foiling, you're going to need some kind of foil, but there's a lot of it on the market. Shop around. You can find some at a discount. I know that even the big box stores carry the stuff, so you can probably use a coupon to pick it up if you have to have it. But then there's a lot of stuff that came out that just didn't make any sense to me at all. It's just a repeat of things that we've seen before, like uh, paint palette and water bucket. Well, okay, it's a paint palette and a water bucket. Um, I have a 50-cent plate from the secondhand store for my paint palette, and I have old mason or not mayonnaise jars for my water bucket. You don't have to spend money on that kind of stuff. I guess it's nice, but do you really need it? Probably not. Pouring medium. How many of you already have pouring medium? Was that really something they needed to come out with from another company? Um, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they came out with this year that I just was unimpressed with. Um, Not sure why some of them come out with them other than just to complete a line. Like Jane Davenport, she came out with a whole line of pens, and I'm saying why? There's a lot of companies with the same pens. Do we really need another set of pens? But I guess if you're branded, you have to have a whole line of everything. And when you have different designers from different companies, it's like you have to have everything from one particular designer. Well, not me. I don't think I need that. So, anyway, think about what you have so that you can make wise decisions about your purchases. Um, Here I am demonstrating some lift ink because one of the people in the audience had asked me about using alcohol ink or I had mentioned using archival ink as a lift ink, and that there is a hack for the lift ink, which is using archival ink. But there are slight differences in using that, and I'll show you that in a minute. I used some gray archival ink, and then I used the clear lift ink, and you'll see that the gray tone does affect the color a little bit, and you do get a more clear image from the lift ink. So I think it's a good product. I like it. But not all products that have come out are wonderful. Just saying. So if you like what you're seeing here, come and join us on our weekly show. We are Art Joy of Sharing. Remember, this is a sped up version, so if you want it in real time, go check out the long version on our channel. And come and join us on Facebook. We have a lot of fun with our community over there. And remember that you make a difference to all of us and that you are important. And remember to be kind. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining me today. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.